UFC 300 has wrapped up. This is the morning afterwards. And this is my post-event breakdown / fight rankings from D tier being a fight that, frankly, for this card, just was like slightly disappointing, to S tier being, listen, I think you already know what the S tier fight of the card is going to be, but honestly, probably one of the greatest finishes in my time of watching this entire sport. Off the top of my head, I don't think I could name another ending of a fight that beats out the fight that's going to go in S tier. I think you guys already know what it is. But I'm going to be doing some breakdowns of every single fight. Who do I think they should fight next for some of them? But I might make a dedicated video to some of the other fighters on here. You'll see when we get to it. I don't want to have a long intro for here. I want to get straight into it because I want to talk about this event. And you guys want to hear about this event because this is a pretty requested video. We did a live stream last night and this is what you guys wanted to see. So I'm going to give it to you. And with that out of the way, let's get started. Our first fight from the early prelims, Deiveson Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt. What a great fight to start the card. I didn't know what the UFC was cooking up here, but looking at how the Bo Nickel fight against Cody Brundage went, comparing it to Deiveson Figueiredo versus Cody Brundage, Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt. Seeing how that turned out, they cooked. Early prelim headliner was a really good fight, dude. What's there to say about this one? Cody Garbrandt was getting better of the striking exchanges. He did good in round one. Figueiredo's was not looking that good. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the moment that was getting to Figueiredo. I don't know if it was the timing, because Cody Garbrandt's a tough dude to strike against because he doesn't have a lot of telegraph. He has a weird striking style that's hard to time. That's something that Cody Garbrandt has always had. Once you can read him, though, you're going to catch them. And what I thought was going to happen is Deiveson Figueiredo was going to find the KO blow against Cody Garbrandt in the second round after he made his reads. I was really right about the round. I was right about the fighter. I was not right about the method in which it would end. Deiveson Figueiredo finishes Cody Garbrandt in the second round by a rear naked choke. Is it depressing? Slightly, but I picked Figueiredo to win. It is what it is. And who do I think is to fight next? Figueiredo versus Chito Vera. I think that's a fight to make. But I know they sought down the Petr Yan fight, but Petr Yan will be out of the UFC for about a year to fix up his leg. I think Chito Vera versus Figueiredo is the fight to make, but Figueiredo's shooting himself in the foot because he believes he's next in line for a title shot. I'm sorry, bro. Merab is fighting Sean O'Malley next. And from there, you can do Figueiredo against Corey Sandhagen for the interim title when Sean O'Malley inevitably goes up to fight Ilya. I say that's a fight that you can do. Either Chito Vera, when Chito wants to come back, or Corey Sandhagen, because you need to give somebody to Corey. And yeah, I think that's what you do for Deiveson Figueiredo. For Cody Garbrandt, dude, retirement fight, Pedro Munoz, do it. I don't understand why we haven't done it already. You don't want to do the rematch with Dominic Cruz? Fine. Cody Garbrandt versus Pedro Munoz is the fight to make in my eyes. Where am I going to put this fight? I am going to say it was a pretty solid fight, but it's not going to be up here. I'm going to say a mid to low B tier in terms of enjoyment for UFC 300. If it were a normal fight night, A tier. Next up, Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. Dog. It was painful seeing Jim Miller get absolutely mollywopped like that. Outside of some success with the lead leg kick, outside of some success in some of the trades in the first round, Bobby Green was kind of using the face of Jim Miller as a speed bag, and it was looking pretty bad. Bro was getting effed up. The only blood that was on Bobby Green was the blood that Jim Miller smeared all over him, which was his. Overall, pretty solid fight. What do I think we do with Jim Miller? Jim Miller versus Tony Ferguson. I don't know why we haven't booked it. Jim Miller versus Clay Guida. Give him a retirement fight. And for Bobby Green, I would say Bobby Green versus Paddy Pimblett, but I don't think that's what they're going to do. I really do. There's another person on this card that I believe will be fighting Paddy Pimblett, and we'll talk about that. But I think Bobby Green against... What's a good fight for Bobby? You can't do Jalen Turner. You probably can't do Dan Hooker anymore. You can't do Renato Moicano. We're in a weird spot with Bobby Green, admittedly, but I'm going to have to think on that one. But in terms of enjoyment, I'm going to put this one at a high B tier. This is our B+, a B+. Normally, this would be an A+. UFC 300 was stacked, was crazy stacked. I'm going to have to put it in a B+ range. Good fight. So far, I'm 2 for 2. I did get some fights wrong, and we'll get to there when we get there. But overall, I'm 2 for 2. And I did say Bobby Green was going to win by a decision, and it was going to be pretty one-sided. So far, I got the rounds right and the fighter right. That's all I'm saying. 2 for 2, boys. Jessica Andrade versus Rodriguez. I got this one right. Andrade beat Rodriguez because she's the meaner of the two Brazilian women. Not a terrible fight by any means, but for UFC, C tier. It wasn't the worst fight on the card. It was by no means the worst fight on the card. I thought it was going to be our D tier fight, but honestly, it was probably a solid mid to high C tier in all. This was a pretty good bathroom break for everybody that was watching the event. You're on UFC 300, though, when you arguably should have been on UFC 301, because you're both Brazilian women, and the UFC 301 card is absolutely suffering right now. But I'm going to say in C tier. Who should they fight next? I don't know. I'm just going to say it. I'll be honest with you. I don't really care who they fight next. Andrade versus Lemos. Whatever. That sounds good. Sadiq Yusuff versus Diego Lopez. Where do I start with this absolute banger of a fight? It was a short one, but Diego Lopez should have gotten something for this performance. I disagree with Max Holloway getting $600,000 in bonuses only because I believe Diego Lopez deserved something. Like, maybe not the full 300,000, but like maybe a normal 50K bonus, maybe a 100K bonus, because Diego Lopez outstruck Sadiq Yusuff in the first round and was able to get a finish. Diego Lopez is one of the most promising prospects coming up in the UFC right now, and did better against Sadiq Yusuff than Edson Barboza did. You have any idea how crazy that is that Diego Lopez managed to do that? I thought Diego Lopez was going to win. I did get this pick right. So far, I'm 3 for 3, and I'm going on 4 for 4. But I said Diego Lopez was going to get a rear naked choke finish in the second round. But no, he gets a TKO over Sadiq Yusuff. Overall, very enjoyable fight. Off of reactions alone, I'm going to put this one in a low A-. It was just the shock of the moment that put it up there. Okay, like I kind of have to do that. Next up, Jalen Turner versus Renato Moicano. Listen, I got this one wrong because logically, Jalen Turner should win this. But logic is not in Jalen Turner's repertoire because he thought he got a walk-off KO when he could have easily have ended the fight in the first round. And then somehow loses even more fight IQ and ends up getting TKO'd by Renato Moicano, who was in top half guard against Drew Dober their entire fight. Jalen Turner, what the hell are we doing? You are the biggest lightweight that I've ever seen, and you lost to Renato Money Moicano? Yeah, as far as an enjoyable fight, honestly, the only thing that'll put it up above would be the Andrade fight. It was not super enjoyable. Like, here's the thing. I said Jalen Turner was going to win, and it was going to be an entertaining striking match, but it was going to end in a TKO because Jalen Turner's just a better striker than Renato Moicano, and he still is. Renato Moicano's just a better grappler. If Renato Moicano won, it was going to be a boring fight because I thought he would have to strike him. Not strike him, have to take him down and control him in positions. But no, Renato Moicano proved that it was a pretty entertaining fight at the end. Overall, I'm going to put it at the top of C tier. Pretty mid fight, but overall, I'm happy Moicano won. And that was the end of my parlay. Money Moicano, effed up my parlay. Next up, Holly Holm versus Kayla Harrison. I'm going to actually, you know what? I'm going to put Andrade versus Rodriguez in D tier just because of how unmemorable it was. Like, I'm struggling. No. Is it? No, it's not in D tier. There's another fight I'm going to put in D tier. Kayla Harrison versus Holly Holm. What to say here? Holly Holm is about to get her senior citizen bonus. And Kayla Harrison needs to be tested right the fuck now. She is looking massive. We need somebody test her. There is no reason that you should be built like, dude, that is actually kind of insane. What's there to be said? Holly Holm was being held up against the cage, getting easily uchimata, getting judo through very, very easily because Kayla Harrison is, you know, a judoka. However, she did mess up in the beginning, and Holly Holm was in top position for a little bit, and I thought that was kind of funny. But outside of that, Kayla Harrison wasn't really striking on the feet and was more happy with striking when Holly Holm was off her back. And that's what ended up happening. Kayla Harrison gets the TKO win. Not a terrible fight, but at the end of the day, I appreciated Jalen Turner versus Renato Moicano a little bit more. This was probably the second most entertaining women's fight. Yeah. Aljamain Sterling versus Calvin Kattar, D tier, bro. How bad do you gotta fuck up for Dana White to say, hey, he doesn't get an interview? They didn't even air his interview on the they didn't even air his interview on the broadcast. That is how annoyed they were with Aljamain Sterling. Everybody's talking about every other fight. Aljamain Sterling, you were the only dude that was consistently booed the entire event this was the first time you've ever gotten praise in your entire career. How do you not submit Calvin Kattar? Like, at this point in your career, Aljamain, what are we doing here? Like, understand, Diego Lopez was able to get more hype off beating Sadiq Youssef than you got hype beating Calvin Kattar. Like, I'm happy you got the win, because the fact is, if you lost to Calvin Kattar, your career, your championship aspirations are over in the UFC. I'm happy you got the win, but damn, outside of that one takedown, bad fight. And if this was on a fight night, this would be a horrifically mid fight. But because it's UFC 300, D tier, least enjoyable fight on the card. If I had to actually say to skip one fight on here, it would be the Aljamain Sterling versus Calvin Kattar fight. I would rather watch Kayla Harrison versus Holly Holm than this fight. This was just not a great performance. Yuri Prochazka versus Rakic. A tier, absolute peak cinema. Yuri Prochazka isn't beating the TISM allegations anytime soon, but damn does it make him entertaining. Absolutely wild fight from start to finish. Rakic has the leg kicks of a fucking mule. Dude, it was insane. Like, here's the thing. I don't want people to be like, Rakic's fraud checked. Dog, he was drilling Yuri with them leg kicks. It reminded me, I am not even kidding you, it reminded me of Alex Pereira's leg kicks, of how fast he was snapping them out there. He was hitting the calf of Yuri Prochazka like a surgeon. It was beautiful leg kicks. Good showmanship. And was winning the striking exchanges until Yuri Prochazka decided, no, I am samurai. And wins. It's as simple as that. Bro just woke up and was like, no, I will win. And gets it done. I think he got a performance bonus. He got something. I don't think it was a fight of the night, but it was a performance bonus, and he got $300,000 for this, and I do agree. Damn, what a great fight. Yuri Prochazka, who we're putting Yuri up against? Jan Blachowicz. Yuri versus Jan. You can either do Yuri versus Jan or Yuri versus Magomed Ankalaev if Magomed doesn't want to fight Alex Pereira, because we'll get to there, because Alex Pereira said something very, very interesting. But I don't want to spoil it because we'll get to there in a minute. But Yuri Prochazka versus either Magomed Ankalaev or Jan Blachowicz. And put Rakic against Khalil Roundtree. Why not? Book it, please. Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. I would say Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage was better than Andrade versus Rodriguez. I would say that. Here's the thing. A lot of people are looking at this fight and being like, Bo Nickel fraud checked. He was having troubles wrestling Cody Brundage. Listen, I can tell you from experience here. It is difficult to submit a guy who has resigned himself off of losing by control time and getting out-wrestled. Cody Brundage didn't want to do anything. Cody Brundage was fully satisfied with getting laid upon and not getting submitted. Bo Nickel was the guy trying to get the bonus. Bo Nickel was the guy that was trying to get the finish here. Cody Brundage, I don't even think came in here trying to fight. He looked defeated the moment he entered that octagon, and Cody Brundage, all he wanted to do was get to a decision. That is what he did. Cody barely did anything. Bo Nickel tried his damnedest to do what he had to do, and he booed himself after the fight. Listen, I understand not liking Bo Nickel, but to blame him for this performance is, I'm sorry, it takes two to tango, and when one person is doing the La Cucaracha for his life, and Cody Brundage is being like, I don't know if I want to be here. What is bro supposed to do? I'm happy that he was able to submit Cody Brundage in the second round, because to get him out of there. This is the first and only time that you will ever be on the main card, Cody. Bo Nickel gets it done, and at this point, Bo Nickel versus Ikram Aliskerov. Why not? Cody Brundage, either retire or fight a can. That's your choices. And now, Arman Tsarukyan versus Charles Oliveira. In my mind, this is when the main card started. Like, this was barely a palate cleanser. Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan. Frustrating fight to watch, dude. Listen, here's the thing. This is a good fight if you want to show somebody how weird judging is. Because jiu-jitsu and the scoring criteria of MMA do not mix well. Let me ask you a question. Who do you think is winning the fight? If you are stuck in my closed guard the entirety of the round, and I am getting close to getting a submission multiple times, and you are able to land some ground and pound, who is closer to ending the fight? Because if you make one mistake, I can end that in 2 seconds. But you are landing some ground and pound. Who's winning the fight? You have the control time, but Charles Oliveira is closer to ending it. So who really won? Understand, I agree with Arman Tsarukyan being crowned the winner, but I can also see an argument for Charles winning. People are seeing the split decision and are being like, how could it be a split decision? These judges are absolutely insane. No, this is what happens when you mix jiu-jitsu scoring criteria with MMA scoring criteria. Because who is more in danger? You, if I have you in a guillotine that you barely escape out of, or me when you land some ground and pound. Arman Tsarukyan hands down won the second round. It's between the first and the third. I'm not saying it was a robbery. I need to preface that. All I'm saying is, to me, this showed the problem with the scoring criteria. And here's the thing. I'm not saying that you should be making this into a jiu-jitsu match. I'm not saying do that. But pick one. The fact that this was a split decision tells me that judges are not all on the same page here. Because one person is scoring it in the favor of a jiu-jitsu guy. The other guy is scoring it in favor of wrestling. That is the problem that we are having, and I think they either need to choose wrestling or jiu-jitsu off their back. I don't care which one you choose, but choose one. Overall, as far as like an entertaining fight, I'm gonna put this one at the bottom of B tier. Charles Oliveira had some cool moments, but outside of that, it was pretty mid-fight. Also, Arman Tsarukyan hit a fan. I don't know why that happened. A lot of these Armenian guys have a lot of anger issues. I think we need to check that. Immediate DQ, strip them. I'm just kidding. Arman did good though. Like, it sounds like I'm overshadowing it. Arman did do good against Charles Oliveira, but damn, brother, you got pantsed in a guillotine. That's rough. But who is next for who? Arman Tsarukyan believes he's the next dude to fight Islam Makhachev, only for him to get a rude awakening when Dustin Poirier is now fighting Islam Makhachev. That is confirmed, and I will be making a video about those announcements after this video, because holy shit, a lot of news has just dropped. But Arman Tsarukyan's probably going to have to fight, somebody. I don't know what they're going to do, but I think it could be Islam Makhachev in Abu Dhabi. Charles Oliveira, book him against Gamrot. Honestly, I do believe that's next. He beat RDA, whether you like it or not, and Gamrot versus Charles Oliveira was a rumored fight for a little bit, and I do favor Charles Oliveira to beat Gamrot unless he gets another fluke win. But yeah, I think that's going to be next for him. I'm sorry. Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. Fight of the night. Absolutely no questions asked. This was one of the greatest fights that I've ever seen in terms of everything, how it worked out. Listen, was it the greatest of scraps? No. It was the greatest ending of a fight that I've seen in a very, very long time. Because it wasn't just the fact of the KO. No. The KO was definitely an A-tier KO. It was the fact that this was a BMF title fight where Max Holloway is on UFC 300 and is winning the fight so far. And Max Holloway says, let's do it in the middle in the final 10 seconds and gets the KO in the final second of the fight. If this was in a movie, y'all would be like, bullshit. The fact that it happened is one of the craziest things in cinema ever in real life. Amazing fight. Who's next for who? Justin Gaethje versus... Maybe you could do Charles, but I don't think they're going to do that. Justin Gaethje versus... I don't know what you... That's tough, actually. Justin Gaethje versus Beneil Dariush, maybe? I think that's a fight that you could book. Yeah, I think Beneil Dariush at this point. Max Holloway? What do we do for Max Holloway? Max Holloway's in a very good position. He called out two people. He called out Ilia Topuria in Spain and Islam Makhachev in Abu Dhabi. Whoever would give him the first title shot. And seeing that Islam Makhachev is fighting Dustin Poirier, I think Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria in Spain is the next fight to make. But I do hope that he comes back to lightweight at some point. If he loses to Ilia, do the Dustin Poirier fight. Or you can do the Charles Oliveira rematch. That's another good fight. I would be interested to see who wins that. S-tier fight, though. Amazing. Yao Xiaonan versus Sang-Wei Lee. The biggest sin of this entire fight is the fact that this had to come after Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. Understand, as a women's fight, this was probably the best women's fight of the entire card. In terms of enjoyment that I had, I would put this above Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan. If you watch the fight live, you understand why this was. In terms of enjoyment, it was a pretty solid fight. I liked it. But damn, Zhang Weili was getting sold so hard. I have lost a lot of confidence in Zhang Weili. I think Amanda Lemos is a fraud. I think Weili is not as good as a lot of people thought she was. Because holy crap, how are you getting outstruck by Yao Xiaonan? Like, I understand, like, significant strikes. On paper, it looks very, very dominant. But that was later on in the fight. Yao Xiaonan was getting the better of Zhang Weili in some of the striking exchanges, and it was quite a few. Zhang Weili arms were gassed out going into the later rounds. It was a 5-round, I don't even want to say 5-round war. It was a 5-round, Yao Xiaonan barely surviving the end of each round. She got put to sleep in the first round, and the bell woke her up. I'm not even kidding you. Dude, they went into the corner, and the corner was like, okay, we need to wake you up. Yeah, no, she was asleep, brother. Yeah, she looked fucking starstruck in her corner. Like, I can't believe I'm still alive right now. So, yeah, I don't know how that managed to go on. She almost got put to sleep in an arm triangle, but she escaped that legit. But yeah, no, the fight should have ended. Wow. Overall, it was a pretty good fight. Probably a mid-B tier to an A tier in terms of this was on a normal card. It was a better than Charles Oliveira-Arman Saruki fight in terms of enjoyment. And finally, our main event. But yeah, no, wait, let me go back to this. The biggest problem of the Wei Li fight and the Yao Xiaonan fight is the fact that this had to follow the greatest fight on the entire card, and people just didn't give a shit. People came back from the bathroom break and were like, actually, this is a pretty good fight. I'm not even kidding you. I had one dude in my live stream say, okay, Wei Li's fighting, time for a bathroom break. He came back and started talking and shit. It's like, I can't believe this fight is still going, but damn it, low-key heat, though. I agree. I didn't expect this fight to be competitive, but it was. And I'm kind of happy it was, but damn, Wei Li sold. And finally, the main event, Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. Pereira's him. Pereira is that guy. He comes into the UFC, beats the second greatest middleweight of all time, Israel Adesanya, beats a dude who later became champion in Sean Strickland, loses to Israel Adesanya. The UFC's fucking terrified that he's going to beat Israel again. And Alex Pereira says, you know what, fine, I'll go up a weight class. And they give him Jan Blachowicz thinking he's going to lose. But he beats Jan, so they throw him into a title shot against Yuri Prohaska. So Jan is a former champion. Yuri's a former champion. Beats him. And then they give him Jamal Hill, another former champion, and he KOs him in the first round, making it look uncompetitive. This man got drilled in the nuts, in the cojones, and tells Herb Dean, calm down, I'm good, son, and KOs Jamal Hill not even 2 seconds later. Pereira's that guy. He started doing this, like, is this really what you sent me? Is this guy really think he's him? Like he was disappointed in what Jamal Hill did. It's like, you're the first person to talk shit about me, only for you to fail miserably in the first round. That is what I thought was going through Pereira's brain. Dude, he was disappointed in Jamal Hill. That's how funny it was. It was audibly hilarious, but a great moment for Pereira here. And Pereira, I'm not even kidding you, is offering to be the headliner of UFC 301. And if Magomed Ankalaev can't make the turnaround because Magomed isn't in a training camp, and he probably won't be able to fight because, oh, Alex Pereira, he's doing a turnaround too quickly after knocking out Jamal Hill. I don't have time to get a training camp in. Dog, he literally just got done fighting. Are you complaining that the champion is too active for you? Yeah, get back in line. We'll take somebody else for the title shot. And he said if Magomed Ankalaev can't make it, he'll do a fight at heavyweight. Who do you think he's going to fight? Tom Aspinall, dude. If he fights Tom Aspinall at UFC 301 or Cyril Gane, dude, if he beats Cyril Gane just so he's a champion at light heavyweight and a #1 contender at heavyweight, and he can fight dude, we could actually see a scenario where he could become a double champion. Listen, I think Alex Pereira beats Cyril Gane, but I think Alex Pereira would lose to Tom Aspinall. But imagine if he did. If Alex Pereira beats Tom Aspinall and becomes the heavyweight champion of the world, bro single-handedly proved the existence of plot armor in real life. He is the main character at that point. It's either Magomed Ankalaev or somebody at heavyweight at UFC 301. He has it written into his contract before the fight even started that if he was able to beat Jamal Hill, he could make the turnaround. What a Chad. Absolutely great fight. I'm putting it in A tier. It was not better than the Yuri Prohaska versus Rakic fight, but damn was it an amazing fight. A tier. I think these rankings are very subjective, by the way, but damn, what an amazing card. Absolutely. If you guys were able to come into the live on TikTok, that was a test live. But from now on, all fight nights and all numbered cards are going to be live streamed on TikTok and on the K-Side Combos YouTube channel. So if you guys want to do on YouTube, if you guys want to go on TikTok, that's up to you. I'll be doing a multi-stream for that. And we'll be doing that for all the fight cards moving forward, every fight night, every numbered card. And with that out of the way, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for enjoying this video. And I got a few other videos to make today. And what was your favorite fight of the card? What was your least favorite fight of the card? And what do you think about UFC 300 as a whole? And with that out of the way, thank you all for watching. Adios, guys.